So let's start the session. In the last class, we are discussing about the matplotlib, that is a plotting library, and where we have seen with respect to the first one called as histogram. Histogram is for the continuous variable. In order to represent the bars of the continuous variable, we are going to use the histogram. Next one is box plot. We have discussed on the box plot, where we are having the box plot for identifying whether there is an outliers on the left side and right side. And after this, we have seen with the scatter plot. Scatter plot with respect to pointing the plots, and the use of the scatter plot is to check whether it is a positive direction or negative direction. Next, we have worked on the next one called as line plot. And using the line plot, we have done with respect to time series analysis. As the time changes, how the values are changing, just we are observing the trend inside the line plot. Line plot is used to check the trends. Next, histogram, box plot, scatter plot, and line plot. After this line plot, we have discussed about the bar plot. Bar plot is similar kind of histogram, but it is applicable for the discrete data separately. The bars are not attached to each other. So some of the students are getting confused with respect to, sir, which is continuous variable and which is discrete variable. So for your easy understanding, one more time I am explaining for the easy understanding what is continuous variable means. If any value is having the decimal means that is continuous, that is blind. If it is not having the decimal means we have confused whether it is a discrete count variable or a continuous variable, sir, that we are confusing. If it is having the decimal means it is very clear. That's not a problem. But if it is not having any kind of, for example, if you go with the marks of the student, if the marks are 25.4 is there means it is very clear that okay, marks are having with respect to points also, so it is possible, and it is this one. But in my data set, sir, points are not there, sir. You are observing there is no points in my data set. Marks of 25, 26, 34, 92, something you are having like this. Here you should not decide based on the data. You should decide based on the name of the column, variable name. You have to decide based on the variable name, not based on the in your data set. Marks are not possible means in the every data set marks will not have the decimal. In your data set it is not having, right? That is number one. To identify, first we have to identify based on the variable name. We should not decide based on the inside data. We should decide based on the variable name. That is the first point. Second point is, if you assume this, if it is assume, for example, this is the data set where I'm having the marks, where the marks of 25, 32, 48, 92, 98 or 88, something you are having 86, 70, 72, something you are having marks like this, some values. Now, what I have told you that based on the marks variable name, you have to decide that marks can be negative or positive, or sorry, marks can be decimal or non-decimal generally. Right? We have to work on the first one is variable name. Second option is, if you assume this is a discrete data, assume that is a discrete data and count data. This is a discrete count. Since it is not having any decimal values, assume this is a discrete count. If it is a discrete count, what you are going to do, for each category, you are going to take a separate bar. For 25 marks, 1 bar. How many students are with exactly 25? How many students are with exactly 26? How many students are with exactly 42? How many students are with exactly 43? How many students are with exactly 44? For each number, you are going to see the count. How many students are there with respect to this one? How many students are there with respect to this mark? Now, what you are going to analyze like this? With exactly that 1 mark, 26 marks, how many students are there? What is the use? Instead of that, how many students are having less than 60? How many students are from 60 to 80? How many students are greater than 80? You are analyzing like this, miss. Then you can understand in your particular batch, the students are, which type of students are more, average students or below average students or above average students. If you analyze in this way, miss, it is going to be helpful. If you analyze for each mark, how many students are there, miss, what is the use? So if you are able to color the data, means if you are able to write the column with respect to 40 to 50, 50 to 60, 60 to 70, how many students are there from 50 to 60, 60 to 50 to 60, 60 to 70? If you are able to write like this, the bars means then it is continuous variable. Okay, assume there is one more variable called as discrete variable. Okay, this is a discrete variable where number of mobile phones with the student. Student 1 is having 1 mobile phone. Student 2 is having 2 mobile phones. Student 3 is having 0, 1, 2, 2, 2, 1, 1, 1, 1, like this you are having. Now, can you take from 0 to 1, how many mobiles are there? Can you count like this? Huh? Or you are going to count for 0, how many are there? What you are going to do generally? Forget whether it is a discrete count or not. Just a common sense. Just apply the common sense. Whether you can write 0 to 1 is better one, or writing with the 0, how many mobiles are there, and with 1, how many mobiles are there? Right? So if you go with the 0 to 1, how many mobiles are there from 0 to 1, and from 1 to 2? We will not do for this one like this. We'll take either how many 0 mobiles are there, how many 1 mobile students are there, how many students are having with 1 mobile, how many students are having with 2 mobiles. Here, number of means here it is saying that it is count. Number of mobiles, it is counting. These are all the counts. So this is a discrete count variable. For discrete count variable, you have to apply the discrete analysis. That is bar chart. You can't apply the histogram. For the continuous variable, you have to apply the histogram. You can't apply the bar chart. Right? Now, let us take an example here. In this case, what I am going to do is just I am going to import NumPy, Pandas, Matplotlib along with the Seaborn. The fourth one is, now in today's class, we are going to start the new library called as Seaborn, which is the advanced visualization. And you will find the difference easily between the Matplotlib and Seaborn. By seeing the graphs itself, you can easily say. Now import Seaborn as SNS, standard. Standardly, we are going to use SNS. And I'm going to load a data set called as tips.csv data set, which I have used in the descriptive statistics, the same data set, tips.csv. Now this tips.csv, where I am having the total bill, tip amount, gender, and smoker, day, time, and size. Already I have explained you about the data understanding. That is what is meant by data and what is this data set. I have already explained you. Now, assume this one is a discrete variable. Assume in your mind, you don't know whether it is a continuous or discrete. You don't know. Total bill. Now for total bill, 16.99, how many values are there? 17, how many values are there? 17.01, how many values are there? 17.02, how many values are there? 17.03, how many values are there? You are going to write like this, or are you going to take from 0 to 10, how many are there? From 10 to 20, 20 to 30, like this you are going to consider. So this is a continuous variable. One, you can identify, first one is bill amount. First you have to decide based on the variable. This is the first one, first step. Based on the variable, you have to decide whether it is a discrete variable or continuous, not based on the data set. This is the first choice number one. Choice number two is apply your common sense that if I apply this one, what happens? If I apply this one, what happens? And according to that, you apply the plot. Now here, I'm going to have this data where once in the real life, whenever you are going to load the data, once you load the data, first step you have to understand the data. That is column names, understanding each and every column name. Whatever the column names are there, understand them. Irrespective of data, inside that what is there, you don't worry. Understand the column name. What is meant by total bill? Total bill means whatever the bill was paid at the restaurant. Tip means what is the tip amount they have given to the waiter. This gender means with respect whether it is a male or female, gender of the person. Right? Next, smoker, whether the person is a smoker or non-smoker. Day, time, size. First you have to understand only the heading names. Understanding only the variable names is called as data understanding. Without understanding inside the data, understanding the variables is called as data understanding. This is data understanding. This already I have told you in the pandas also, we have to do the same way, that we have to understand the data. Sir, here the data is very simple, you are explaining very easily. But if the data is somewhat complicated or more number of features are there, I assume that this data is from biotechnology, something I have got some data where the column names I am not able to understand. You have to take the support of domain expert or you have to do the research in the Google. And you have to understand. For understanding the data only, they are going to give us 1 week of time. In the data science project, directly we are not going to open the Jupyter notebook and will not start that work. First 2 weeks of time, we will not even open the Jupyter notebook also. Jupyter notebook or Python, whatever it is, first 2 weeks will not even touch the program also. First 2 weeks are dedicated for understanding the data and business problem. For what purpose we are doing this project and what is the use, and at the end, what is he's expecting, whoever has given the project, what his expectation, what he wants to us, and for that, at what time he required, and how the process will be, has to be done. Whatever you are getting in your mind, the questions related to business understanding. First, you have to understand your project very clearly. For this, you are going to have 1 week of time. in the industry, when you are working as a real-time data scientist, first 1 week, you will not even open the Jupyter notebook or Python code also. You will open only one and only thing is called as google.com. That is the only website we will open. And in that, we'll analyze, okay, this belongs to this domain. Related to that domain, is there any other projects are available? We'll try to understand the previous projects which are available in the market, which is available for free of cost in the Google. And we'll understand the data. This data you are going to get from the data engineer team. And in the data engineer team, they have given the columns, and in the column names, for example, I'm having one of the bio project where we are having from WC is the one of the column, and second one is called as AT is one of the column. What is the full form of WC will be given by the data engineer. Data engineer will send only the WC full form only. WC, he has sent that the full form of WC is called as waist circumference. He has sent this one. In my entire life, I have not studied my BTech or BSc, I have not studied the waist circumference. That is the first time when I'm seeing the data set only, I came to know, oh, waist circumference, one word is also there. Till that, I don't know even that one also. And he has sent the full form of AT is adipose tissue. Adipose tissue. These are the two things. Both are available in the human body only. Waist circumference is in the human body, adipose tissue also inside the human body only. But till now, I have heard those words also. When I'm doing that particular project, when I have started that particular project, I have never heard. I'm not from BSc biology, or I'm not from microbiology, or not from biotechnology, nothing. So I don't know what are the technical words. I have got only the column names and I have got the values. Inside that values are there. Suddenly I have seen this one, and data engineer team has sent me that what is the full form of each column. Like similar kind of in the liver patient data set, how you have got in the liver. This is only will be given by the data engineer team along with the data. Here I'm having this one SGPT, SGOT. And with respect to total proteins, TP is nothing but total proteins in the liver patient data set. What is meant by total protein also, I don't know. Till I have worked with respect to this data set. Before to that, I don't know what is meant by total protein in the body. Okay, there is a concept called as total proteins. They are going to count like this. And this, if the total proteins are low, means we are going to get in the future liver problem also. That also I don't know. Till I have worked this data set. Before to this data set, I don't know anything. I don't know about the kidney problem. For what purpose we'll get the kidney problem. I know only one thing is Mukesh ad. Whatever we see in the cinema theater, Mukesh ad, that I know. If you take that cigarette or with tobacco, you'll get some kind of cancer. That I know. Remaining nothing I know. So when they have shared for me this one first time, I was also shocked and not shocked. We have to learn. Common, that is common. Tomorrow, if you are working on a new project, means you'll also get. Every project, you'll get the new terms only. The same thing, whatever is available in the market, which you are familiar, every time you'll not get the same values like that. You'll get a different variable names. So now what is meant by ALB, albin? What is meant by albin? Albin is one of the type of the protein. In the body, it is one of the type of protein. Right? So that I have understand after going into the research of the particular variable name. What is the albin? Where it will be available. If the albin percentage is high, means what happens to the liver? What is the relation between albin versus rival? That everything I have checked in the Google. Right? Either you have to take the support of domain expert. Domain expert means in your project, one person will be related to that particular domain. For example, tomorrow you are working on the Dr. Reddy's has given the job description as I want the data scientist. CSC person has completed data science and he has went to Dr. Reddy's. And mechanical student has completed the data science course and he has went to the Dr. Reddy's job interview. And pharma person also completed the data science course and he has went for the job interview. Out of these three, priority will be given to the pharma person. Why? Because he is going to have additional advantage in understanding the data. Here we no need to hire separately domain expert. For that particular situation only, he is going to be helpful. Okay. Coming to the next one, insurance. LIC has given the request job notification for data scientist. LIC, insurance company. Anyone has completed insurance in their BTech? No one will complete insurance now. Separate domain is not their insurance, right? For them, mechanical are also equal, civil also same, BTech computer science also same. There will be no difference. In that situation, there is no difference. But whereas Dr. Reddy's, pharma was given first priority. Anyone from pharma means they will give the first priority because they will understand the technical terms also easily. That is the reason they will give the first priority. Right? Now here we have to understand the data understanding, that is called as data understanding. Understanding each and every variable is called as data understanding. Whenever you collect the data, immediately first thing you have to do is before getting the data you will get tomorrow means one day before they will discuss with you about the project. If you are in that project only, they will share the data for you. If you are not there in the project, why they will share the data for you? That particular project data will not be shared to all the members in the company. Only to the particular team only they are going to share. For example, in my company, there are multiple teams are there, multiple data science teams are there. I am working on a particular project. For my particular project, whatever I am working for, that data set is entirely different. I am right now working on the chatbots. Now, the project which I am working is chatbots using the artificial intelligence. I am implementing some kind of artificial intelligence using the chatbots. Right? This is the project which I am working. Another team is working on a different recommendation engines they are working. This team, they are going to share with respect to whatever the recommendation engines related data set, that only they are going to share. For me, whichever information related to chatbots, they are going to share for me. This is an example. Both are not true. Purely example. Don't think that I'm working on this one. Example on. In a flow, I have told you. Example on. Right? Exact project details I can't disclose. Right? So now the thing is that you are working on the multiple data sets, and this one, whatever the data related to you, they are going to share to you, and you have to understand that data set very clearly, the variable names. Understanding the variable names very clearly is called as data understanding. After understanding the data, now you have to understand your data set. Now you have to understand the data set. That is second stage. Within the data understanding means variables understanding. Second one is data set understanding. In this data set, how many records are there? How many records are there? How many of them are continuous variables? How many of them are discrete variables? And within the discrete, if the gender is there, within the gender, how many classes are there? What are the different categories are there? Only male and female will be there, or transgender also is there? Who knows? First 5 records only I have printed. Using the head function, I have printed first 5 only. Remaining records are also there now. In that, maybe transgender also available. Or with respect to smoker, yes or no. And with respect to days, Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday. Whether all the days are available, only limited number of days only available. And size, family size of 2, 3, 4. I am having like this. Only 2, 3, 4 only is there. Or 10 also is there. 4 also is there. 20 also is there. Who knows? So that we have to clearly understand your data. That is called as data set understanding. Got the point? Now data set understanding, first you have to collect the data. After collecting the data, just you have to click on the df.info. The first step you have to do is df.info. df.info gives you the total number of records and total number of columns. Means first step you will get the shape. Okay, in my data set total 244 records are there. This is the first step. After that, now you are having each column. These are the column index numbers. What is the use of column index numbers? Whenever you are applying iLog, at the time index numbers are important. We can't check, for example, total 500 futures are there. In the data set, 500 futures are there. We can't count one by one, right? Like this. So in the info, for every column, what is the related index number, we can see directly in the info only. We don't need to count manually. For example, if I ask you, what is the index number here for time? What you are going to do? 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So the index number is 5. You are going to say the index number 5 or 6. 1, 2, 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5 is the index number. Now, whatever the fifth index number is there, the time will be with fifth index number directly. You can have like this. You don't need to count manually. So this is the use of index numbers here. Whenever you are applying the iLog, this is going to be helpful for you easily to extract the data using iLog. If you are not using iLog, means no need of. Index numbers are not required. Index numbers are required only for when you are using the iLog. Right? Next column. Column names are clear. Next, we can see the data types that float. Float means clearly it is a continuous variable. Objects means discrete variable. This is fixed. Float means continuous, object means discrete. Both are fixed. But coming to the int is there, this is the question mark. Whether int is a continuous variable or discrete variable, that you have to observe clearly by understanding the size. What is meant by size? Size means total number of members visiting that particular restaurant. Either 2 will be there, 3 will be there, but 2.1 will not be there. Highly impossible. 2.1% will not come. 2.2% will not come. Means decimal is not possible for this particular size. So this is a discrete count variable only. It is just counting the number of persons has came to the restaurant. Got the point? Now this is a discrete variable. Now we are going to take the list continuous variables and discrete variables separately. Now for this continuous variables, you have to apply the continuous analysis. For discrete variable, you have to apply the discrete variable analysis, which is called as exploratory data analysis. In the company, we are going to spend 50% of the time on this. 50%. First, we have to understand the original data. Then after that, we can process further. Without understanding the past data only, how we can proceed to the future data? First, we have to understand clearly our past data. For example, in this class, I am having multiple students are there who are sitting in the offline. I have to understand about my students. Out of how many students are interested and how many students are observing the class and how many students are writing their notes and how many students are sleeping. If the person in the last bench is sleeping or he is not focusing on the concept, now we have to make with respect to related to that by changing. If you do that one, what happens at the end? All the students, most of the students are actively participating. At the end, more number of placements will be there. At the end, I will get the more business in the further batches. Everything is related to finally business only. Anything will be related to business only. Why we are doing all these things means for business only. You don't need to think in a wrong way. At the end, Naresh IT will do the business. You will also do the business. I will also do the business. Anyone will do the business only. Right? How effectively we are doing it. How effectively we are doing the business is more important. You are paying the 15,000 fees. You are paying 15,000 fees, but for the 15,000 fees, how much amount of content I am delivering? Whether I am satisfying that 15,000 fees or I am not satisfying the 50,000 fees is a question mark. If I am satisfying this, you are going to recommend. If I am not satisfying this, you are not going to recommend. And then you are also going to see the business only. Whatever the fees I have paid, for that I have got a benefit or not only, you are going to see at the end. Fees and what is the time you have dedicated, and then you are getting the job or not. Right? Now, for example, if this is an extraordinary course, extraordinary training, everything is there. Fees 50,000 if I keep, will you join? Probability has reduced, right? The 15,000 probability is different. 50,000 the probability is different. For the same course, the same training, same 4 months. Sir, I want to become data scientist, sir. For 15,000, you want to become data scientist. For 50,000, suddenly your interest will drop. 50,000 it seems, no need of data science. DevOps also is very nice in the industry. We'll go to the DevOps. Or we'll go with AWS. Something. Automatically your mind, some people, the probability will reduce. I'm not saying about 100%. At least the probability. Earlier 90% of the students are interested. Means now it is going to have with respect to 75%. The probability will be reduced. That is also business. So what amount you want to keep for this data science course in order to get the more number of students, means that you have to analyze. That you have to take from the market, that after analyzing the data, you can fix the course fees. Blindly, if you go with the course fees, I want to have the course fees for 1 lakh means only one student and we both only have to discuss in Naresh IT. If I keep the course fees of 1 lakh. That is not possible here. That is possible in another location. Right? In the upgrade, the same course fees, the same content, you are going to pay 2,88,000, including the GST amount. The same course. I'm not going to change anything. If I am the trainer, miss, there I will spend some classes, right? So the same content. There the students are different. In Amirpet, the students are different. According to that, this all why I'm saying is analysis. At the end, I'm not degrading or I'm not upgrading them. Just I'm saying about the analysis, the situation. Based on the analysis, based on the situation, we have to come with a solution which improves the business, is the data scientist role. Right? In this area, we can't go with respect to whatever the Banjara Hills we are having the hotels. Ambience will be very nice, top class ambience. That we bring that Taj Banjara into Amirpet miss. If you bring the Taj Banjara to Amirpet, what happens? It is not going to have that much of business. What are the hotels are there in the Banjara Hills that they are having with respect to different? What are the hotels are having with Amirpet? They are different. As per the people, they are going to select the business and they are doing the business. All this comes under analysis. This analysis is called as exploratory data analysis. Understanding the past data, not the future data. Understanding the past already is in this Amirpet, what type of people will be located, what type of students will be in these areas, what type of institutes are there, what type of things are there, that you are understanding the past data already completed. You are not predicting the future. Oh, in the next month, Amirpet is going to be like some kind of Bangalore. We are not going to predict that one. That is called as predictive analytics. Whatever was already happened till now, till yesterday, whatever was there in the Amirpet, just you are analyzing the data is called as exploratory data analysis. Understanding the past data. Past data means whatever the data set they have given to you is the past data. Whatever you are going to predict the future is the future data. Right? Past data, whatever the data set they have given to you, understanding the given data. The given data is also called as raw data. Raw data or original data. Raw means original. Pure original data. Understanding your pure original data is called as exploratory data analysis. And in the company, we have to spend almost 50% of the time on this, so that once we understand our data set and our business problem, then the next step of the things will be easy. Without knowing anything, directly if you apply the coding, for what purpose you are doing that one, for if the output is like this, what you have to do also will not understand. Right? So understanding the data is called as exploratory data analysis. Now here 244 records are there. I have understand the data set. Data set understanding is completed. Now I am doing the exploratory analysis. Now what is the average total bill? What is the minimum bill? What is the maximum bill? What is with respect to medium bill? And is there any outliers in the given data? All this comes under exploratory data analysis. Checking each and everything is called as exploratory data analysis. Checking only. It is all comes under checking. You are not predicting or you are not doing the cleaning. You are just checking. So first I am going to take this one. Whether total bill, what is the minimum value? What is the maximum value? What is the average value? That is mean. Is there any outliers for this data set? Whether this is a having with respect to skewed distribution or normal distribution. These are all the question marks only. For this all question marks, answers you are doing is called as exploratory data analysis. Got the point? Similarly for the tip amount also, same to same. Now for coming to the gender column, for this you are applying with how many categories are there. First you have to identify how many categories are there inside that one. How many unique categories are there. For each category, how many records are there. That is, you have to apply the value counts. df dot value counts. Pandas is there now. Everything using pandas only. Pandas, you will get the values. The same thing if you represent the chart means it is called as plotting. Now why we are pandas will give that values like this, some values. Now the same thing represent using the chart. Why we have to represent the chart? If I say explain, if I continuously speak continuously, you will get slowly into the sleep. If I write like this, in between if I am writing like this and if I am explaining something like this, then you will have some kind of interest. Nothing but data visualization, power of data visualization. That is the power of data visualization, where by visualizing the data, we'll understand more things easy way. If you speak continuously for 1 hour and in that so many important things, if you say also, we'll get the sleep only. But if you visualize and if you explain in the visualization terms by each showing which within the graph, okay, this is the reason, this is the one, like this, if you explain this, you'll understand very clearly that what is meant by data visualization means Why we are having separately Tableau, Power BI? All these tools are separately available, and Power BI developer using Power BI only one role is there. Data analyst role is there. Why? Because they are making understanding the entire data in a simple way for the client. They'll explain by using simple graphs. They'll explain to the client very simple way. They'll make entire data in a simple way. For example, let us assume here, let's take a small example. Gender is there. In the gender, I'm having males and females. Males are with respect to 200 and females are 44. Total 244. Now, example, I'm writing example. Now, instead of this saying as this one, you are going to get as a pandas by using df of sex, this particular column name column using value counts. Value counts means value, each value, unique values and their counts. Now, the same thing, if you represent the bar plot, this is 200 and this is 44. Means from this, clearly you can understand that in the given data set, more number of males are there. More number of persons who has paid the bill is males. Generally, males will pay the bill in the restaurant. That is the conclusion which we are going to get here using this graph. If the females are having more graph, means what is the conclusion? In this particular restaurant, females are paying more. If you are having a girlfriend, means it is better to go with this restaurant because they will pay more. Na? That is that you are analyzing, right? So the same thing what you are analyzing is with respect to fact. Okay, right? Now we are having with respect to the continuous variables like total bill and tip amount, and discrete variables like gender, smoker, day, time, and size. So you are separating the continuous variables and discrete variables. Okay. Now you are applying continuous variables analysis for discrete variable, discrete analysis, separately. Within continuous variable, univariate analysis, bivariate analysis, multivariate analysis. For discrete variable also, univariate analysis, bivariate analysis, multivariate analysis. Separately. Each of them separately. You can't apply this one for this one, that one. Both are independent to each other. Now, first I am going to start the exploratory analysis. Whatever the continuous variable is there, this continuous variables I am going to apply the df of continuous. Continuous means this complete list will be considered here. In the backend, it is going to apply this one. These two variables will be applied and dot discrete. So now I am going to get what is the average bill in this particular restaurant is $19.78 is the average bill. And maximum bill you are going to get as 50.8. On the past data, it is not mandatory that with respect to another waiter has collected different data, means automatically values changes. Whatever the waiter has collected the data within the given data, this is the maximum value. Within the collected data only. Okay. For example, students after completing this course, they have told the placements. Sir, I have got 6 lakhs package, I have got 7 lakhs package, I have got 8 lakhs package or 10 lakhs package. Now, some students out of in your batch, 4 students has told me like this. Now, in this, what is the minimum salary? 6. In this, what is the maximum salary? 10. Is that mandatory that everyone are lying in this only? Whatever the data I have got, within that, this is the minimum and this is the maximum. There might be with respect to some students who has got 16 lakhs package, there might be some students who has got only 3 lakhs package also. But that data is not there with me. What are the data with me, I am analyzing. What are the data is not with me, how I can analyze? Okay. Yesterday also one of the students has sent me the message that, sir, I have got selected in the Quantify company name is Quantify, and he has shared me on the WhatsApp. To my WhatsApp number, he has shared me that, sir, I have got selected in this. I told simply congratulations. And in the Quantify, I didn't ask what is your salary because that is not prepared for me. That is out of. We no need to ask their salaries or what type of work is yours and whether you have selected as a data scientist or data analyst or which location you are working, Hyderabad or Chennai. He is my relative to ask all these questions. He is a student and he is sharing his happiness with respect to, sir, I have got a opportunity in this company as a data scientist. I told simply congrats. Now, if I open that particular company name in the Google, I will get the details now. What is the average salary? Now I can clearly predict his salary will be in this range, right? That is called as predictive analytics. Without asking his salary, we are predicting his salary. Company name he already told now. Just type in the Google, what is the average salary in this company? You'll get the answer, right? From that, I have understand that he has got with a package of 9 lakhs. I am assuming he has got a package of 9 lakhs as a fresher only. Right? That is the subject he is having. So whether you believe or not, I don't know. If you don't believe me, I have to open the WhatsApp. If you believe me, okay. No miss, I will open. No problem. Absolutely no problem. Yesterday night, 10 o'clock, I have got the message. Right? Now, here you are understanding the data for the continuous variable. Describe the minimum salary, maximum salary, all these things you have applied for the continuous data. Similarly, you are going to do the describe for the discrete data, continuous data and discrete data. For discrete data, you are going to get count and unique categories. This gender is having only 2 unique categories, out of which male is the top. Mode, top means nothing but mode. Mode will be applied for the discrete data. Top means nothing but mode. Mode is male. Similarly, for the smoker, 2 unique categories are there, out of which mode is no, means most of them are non-smokers. And out of day, 4 unique categories are there, out of which the maximum is Saturday. What are those 4? What are those 4? I don't know. That you have to see using the value counts. Here you can't get that one. You have to use the next code called as value counts. If that is your question, you are not having the question that, sir, in the smoker, whether 2 categories are there, one is no miss, automatically others one is, you don't need to apply that one, right? That is minimum common sense. Whereas this one, days 4 are there, out of which Saturday is there. What is remaining 3 are miss? Because we are having remaining 6 options are there. Apart from Saturday, 6 options are there. Out of 3 miss, we have to check. So you have to check miss, the next code, automatically you have to write the df dot value counts for the day. Df of day dot value counts. This you have to apply. Which code you have to write, which code you have to not to write miss, depends on the previous code. Output of the previous code. Is that clear? And now time I am having 2 unique categories are there, out of which one of them is mode is dinner, it seems. Now automatically what is that next one? Lunch only. But still you are having a doubt, apply the value counts. So just you check with respect to the gender, that is male and female, 2 categories are there, 2 unique categories, out of which male is the top one, which is 157 records are there, and 87 records belongs to female. And smoker, again value counts, out of which 151 records belongs to no and 93 belongs to yes. Day, how many unique categories are there miss? Saturday, Sunday, Thursday, Friday. Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, he has not collected the record, or whatever the reason, we are not having in our data set. In our data set, we are having only Saturday, Sunday, Thursday, Friday. So don't ask the question whether what happened on Monday. Maybe on that particular restaurant will not work on Monday. I don't know. Or whether the waiter was absent on that particular day. I don't know. He is working only 4 days per week. This particular waiter is working only 4 days per week. Here we are not focusing on that. What are the data set they have given, we have to understand. Don't focus on the out of the data set. Okay, don't think of out of the data set, this was not collected, that was not collected. Pray, whatever collected, first you analyze that one. Later you can ask whatever not collected. Right? Similarly, time. What is the time unique categories miss? Lunch and dinner. Out of dinner is the mode. And similarly, size. In the size, we are having 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Maximum of 6. The size of the members who has visited for this restaurant is maximum is 6. Next, after this, now you understand the discrete categories. How many categories are there? Now you know for each one what are the different categories are there. Okay, for female, for this column, for this column, for this column, for each of the column, you understand very clearly how many categories are there. For discrete variable, you have to do only the categories. You have to check only the categories. For discrete variable, what is the categories are there, and for each category, how many values are there. That is the only thing we have to apply. Whereas for continuous variable, you have to apply with respect to mean, median, mode, and outliers. All this comes under for continuous variables. What are the descriptive statistics from the starting onwards we have done now, including the probability distribution and calculating the z-scores, and from the z-scores calculating the probability, everything for the continuous data only. None of them we have applied for the discrete variable. And that descriptive statistics, whatever we have completed in the past 4 classes, that is only for continuous data. For discrete data, you are going to calculate only value counts and how many categories are there, and each category, what is the count. That is the only thing which we are going to do for the discrete variable. Now, after that, in my data, how many missing values are there? How to get the missing values? df dot is null dot sum. Already I have explained in the pandas, right? Up to E is null, it is going to give either true or false. And wherever the output of true is that, true plus true plus true will be added, and total missing values it is going to count. And I have got in my data set, no missing values are there. Since no missing values are there, no need to replace the missing values. Assume here there is a missing values are there. In the tip column, 2 missing values are there. According to that data cleaning, next step, next code you have to write. Next code of data cleaning has to be written or not to write will be decided based on the past, that this one. There is no fixed code in the entire data science. There is no fixed code. Okay, first I have to start this one, after this one, after this one, after this one. There is no fixed process. If everything is fixed, I can add def of srk that one, and I can create user-defined function only. No need to hire the separately data scientist. If everything is fixed, means just you can create the user-defined function now. User-defined function also will do the same thing, right? One by one, step by step, it will do automatically. By applying if and else, if and else, if and else, if this one means do this one, if it is not this one means do this one, if this one means do this one, if not means do this one. I can write if and else and I can create my own function, right? If I create my own function, then why you have to hire the data scientist? Any project you can apply only on the single function and you can complete. They'll give the data set and I will give the answer within 5 minutes. In 5 minutes, the project will also be completed. But it is not like that, right? In the companies, the project is going to be for 4 months, out of which this is going to be for 1 week, and this is going to be for 1 week, 1 week to 2 weeks. It depends upon it. Maximum, right? These 2 stages completes with respect to 2 weeks to 3 weeks. 3 weeks is the max. 2 to 3 weeks is the max. Minimum 2, maximum 3. Depends upon the project and depends upon the whatever the data you are collecting, whatever the data you are getting. Level of project. It depends upon the level of project. Whereas this one, after understanding the data, you are doing the exploratory data analysis, data cleaning, data transformations. All this comes with respect to the 3rd stage, where we are going to work for 4 to 5 weeks of time. After that, we'll move on to the machine learning. Directly will not take the data, directly will not apply the machine learning, and we'll see the answer. It is not going to be completed in half an hour or 1 hour. The entire project will take for 4 months of time. Is that clear, guys? Now, here we are going to have, first I have seen the missing values are there or not. This is also completed. Now, next one. First, this is the first column. For the first column, I have checked the mean value, median value, mode value, and all these things. I have applied the describe, and from the describe, I have got all the descriptive statistics values. Okay. Now, whether this particular first column is skewed or normal. What I have to do to check whether it is skewed or normal? Check with respect to using the histogram. If it is plotting wise means histogram. If not plotting value wise means just dot skew. Total bill underscore skew. And here you are going to get the skewness value. Based on the skewness value, you can say whether it is a left skewed or right skewed. This is pandas. Second one is by using the histogram, bell curve. These are the 2 different options to check whether it is a skewed or not skewed. This is plot and this is value. Pandas will give the value. The same thing representation, the values in the representation in the plots are called as data visualization. That is using matplotlib or seaborn, whatever it is. Now here I am going to select the first one called as histogram. sns.displot is the plot available. Displot. This means distribution plot. Histogram in plt.histogram, plt.hist. There the function name is called as hist. Here the function name is called as displot. sns.displot, and you have to give whatever the column you want to apply, and bins is equal to 10. How many number of bins you want? And if you write like this, the bins, number of bins if you write, and you are going to get a histogram like this. Right? Now using the histogram, number of bins are nothing but number of columns, number of bars. How many number of bars you want? That is number of bins. Okay. So with respect to the bins is equal to 10. So bins is equal to 10 means number of bars you are going to have 10. Now here Whether it is a right skewed or left skewed means you are going to use the curve like this and you are going to draw now. This curve also it will draw automatically by applying the KDE is equal to true. If you write like this, KDE is equal to true means kernel density estimation. KDE full form is kernel density estimation. Kernel density estimation is nothing but probability distribution, continuous probability distribution curve. Okay, so now once you apply this KDE, you are going to get it is as a the curve also you will get automatically, the curve also will be drawn. If you write if you don't write KDE means up to only the bars you can see. From this you can clearly say that it is a right skewed distribution. Whatever you have observed that you have to write in the notes. Here in the notes, in the company it is in the PPT. If you want to present means in the PPT, the original raw data has this particular columns. These many columns are skewed and we have done the data transformation over that. Whatever you have observed, that observation you are writing is called as inferences. Inferences means observations. Technical word of observations is called as inferences. Both are same. Observations or conclusions. What you have observed from this particular graph. The technical name is called as inferences. Right? So inferences, from this what you are going to inference means what you have understand. The given data total bill column is a right skewed and it has to be transformed before applying the machine learning. If you want to apply the machine learning for this data set means this particular column has to be transformed. If it is a normal means no need to transform. This is already a normal distributed plot, no need to transform. Furtherly, no need to do any transformation for this column. Next, box plot. And similarly, one more column, total bill is completed. One more continuous variable tip also is there. That one also you have to do. Like this, how many columns are there? For each column, you have to check. Each and every column you have to check. 500 columns are there means 500 columns also you have to check. For that, shortcut is for loop. For loop is there now. Doing the same thing, repetition. For loop is there. Apply the for loop. Automatically, it will only apply. One after one variable, it will take. So here, if you apply here this continuous variable, already it is a list. Apply the for loop for I in list continuous. For I in continuous, apply the df of I. Df of I means automatically it is going to take df of total only. Total bill. And it will apply the histogram. Df of tip and it will apply the histogram. Apply the for loop using the for loop. Here you are having the list and you know how to apply the for loop over the list. In the core Python we have discussed. Now, till now, whatever we have discussed is the prerequisites. Now, from now, we are going to see the applications only. Today's class is application of pandas and with respect to the past statistics. Without statistics, you don't understand the histogram. Box plot, you can't understand without statistics. That is the reason first I have completed the statistics. Next, I am moving on to the matplotlib and box, this one. Because here the box plot or histogram and everything you can't understand. Right? Now, box plot, you are applying the box plot for this column and you can observe this. Okay, tip is having the outliers. Tip column is having the outliers. Okay, now here you are writing SNS dot box plot. Y is equal to total bill. Y means you are going to have the total bill, whatever the values are there, that values are considered on the y axis. If you want to write on the x means you are going to get the box plot in this way. The values, the tip values will be considered on the x axis. If the tip value are considering on the y-axis, you have to write here the y. Both are same. At the end, you are going to identify whether this column is having outliers or not. You are not going to, sir, what is this value, sir? What is this value, sir? Here, just you are going to confirm only one thing is whether outliers are available or not. Yes or no. The same thing you have to write a note. During the data cleaning stage, you have to clean that one. In the data cleaning stage, you have to do the cleaning. Right? And next, apply the scatter plot. Scatter plot means two variables. So already histogram and box plot I have explained in the last class. Scatter plot also. SNS dot scatter plot. Now if you observe this particular diagram, in this diagram the x label, y label automatically it has considered. You don't need to write separately x label and y label. That is the advanced visualization which we are having. And one more we are having with respect to a curve like this. This is not possible in the matplotlib. Where here by single line itself you will get the x label, y label. Y label, x label automatically fixed. X label it is going to take the column name, whatever the column name is there. Y label is always count only. That is the backend code they have written. Y label always fixed with the count, and X label is whatever the variable you have written. Similarly, box plot also, X label or Y label, whatever the label is there according to that label. Right? Next one is scatter plot. Now scatter plot, where you are going to take on the x-axis total bill, on the y-axis tip amount. So it is going to take the scatter plot. It is going to plot the scatter plot. And now you can see clearly, as the total bill increases, tip also increases. Sir, that we know now. Total bill increase means obviously we have to give more tip for the waiter now. That I know. You know for the simple data set. For the complex data set in the future for biotechnology, then at that time we don't know, right? For that we have to do the scatter plot and we have to observe. Since this data set is very familiar for you, you are easily understanding. Okay, sir, as the tip amount increases, as the total bill increases, tip is. What happens the relation between AC and AT? What is the relation? If I ask this question. Total bill versus tip means anyone knows that as the total bill increases, tip will increase. That is, everyone knows. Basic only. What happens with respect to waist circumference increases, adipose tissue increases or decreases? How you can say that? You have to take on the scatter plot, WC on the x-axis, AT on the y-axis, and based on the scatter plot, if it is the scatter plot is in this direction means it is increasing. If the scatter plot is in this direction means it is decreasing. Right? Is that clear, guys? Next, SNS dot scatter plot is the function you can apply, or SNS dot rel plot is the second option. Either this one or this one. Two options. Both are the same. The only difference is it is going to zoom this one. Much better image you are going to get. Rel plot means relative plot. Full forms are not important. Example only. Relative plot means with relation. Relation between two things. Relative plot means relation. Right? Next one is, see here, SNS dot rel plot, total bill, Y is equal to tip, data is equal to DF. You don't need to write every time DF of total bill, DF of total bill. Just you can write X is equal to total bill, Y is equal to tip, data is equal to DF. Now, sir, why we have to write the data is equal to DF? Why it is mandatory? Because, for example, let us assume you have collected two CSV files. First CSV file is having from the waiter one. In the waiter one, total bill is there and tip also is there from the waiter one. In the same restaurant, waiter 2 also collected the same data with respect to total bill and tip. And both of them you have loaded on the same Jupyter notebook by selecting this one as DF1 and this is DF2. Now you asked X is equal to total bill, Y is equal to tip. For which one? DF1 or DF2? Both the cases are available now. So that is the reason we have to clearly write DF data is equal to. Either this is in this way you can write or in this way you can write. Y is equal to DF of tip means automatically it is going to consider that particular data frame. In that data frame, whatever the column is there. Understanding? Once again, the same code I'm going to copy and I'm applying this one. The same code as it is. Instead of writing X is equal to DF of total bill, just I'm writing only total bill. No need to write the DF. Now, if you are not writing the DF means, then you have to add the data is equal to DF. Data is equal to DF. Above and below both are same. Either in this way you can write or in this way you can write. If you are writing only the column names means, mention the data frame name. If you are writing with the DF also means, no need to mention the data frame. Automatically you have already mentioned. Now, here there is a next option called as hue. Hue is equal to, in this, what are the data is there? In this entire data, multiple people are there. Sir, how scatter plot understands the client? That see here, as the total bill increases, tip also increases. Now for the client, you are going to show that one graph and you are going to explain manually. Just you are going to display the graph and you are going to explain that one. Okay, if he don't know the statistics means, you have to explain for him. Right? You are not explaining statistics, you are explaining only the graph. What you have observed, that one only you have to explain, not the entire statistics. You are not the teacher and he is not the student. Right? Now, here next one, if you observe in this scatter plot, in this entire scatter plot, it is having both with respect to smokers and non-smokers or gender with both of them. But I want to separate the genders. Now here there is a total bill of this one. This is the total bill of $50. Now who has paid this one? Whether the male or female? How we can know is by applying the hue is equal to gender. By applying the hue is equal to gender, now it is going to separate based on the gender. For one gender, it is going to keep one different point. For second gender, it is going to keep the second data point. So now whichever is in the orange color, that is male records. Whichever is in the blue color, that is female records. Now clearly from this we can conclude that more tip will be given by the males. It is comedy only, but whatever the observations you are observing, that one only I am writing. I am not saying about the real facts. Real fact also the same, I know. But here whatever you are observing, that you have to write. Right? When compared to this females, males will pay with respect to more. And with respect to, again, similarly, this whatever the total bill is there, this total bill, maximum total bill was also made by the male. Now from this, if you want to do in the observations, for example, you are as a business analyst and you are going to develop the business strategy. Now in this particular restaurant, since most of the people are males only paying the high bills and high tips, so now to attract them, for girls special discount, you are going to add. You are going to add like that. That will be decided based on the business analyst and the company people. What type of strategy, buy one get one free, kg sale, all these things will be decided by the company. Right? For example, South India shopping mall is there. It will say that up to 70% discount, highlight. 70% it will be highlighting, but up to is the word small letters. That is the business strategy. And after once you enter into the South India shopping mall, now you will see that one section only it is applicable. They will say on selected products. They will keep a star mark, and this star mark is nothing but selected products. Not for all of them. They will write like this. This is purely a business strategy. And how much of percentage has to be given, what type of business strategy has to be applied, it will be decided based on the client. 70% or 60% or 80%, that will be decided by the client. And if I give 70%, what is the expected number of sales that you have to predict as a data scientist? If I give 60%, what is the expected sales? Now, based on that, he is going to develop and he is going to decide that one. Prediction will be done by you. Decision will be taken by the client. Right? Now, here, whatever the observations you are observing, that you are going to do. For each graph, whatever you have observed, you have to take a note of that. It is called as exploratory data analysis. Doing the multiple plots, and from the plots, whatever the outputs you are getting, you have to write in the notes. Right? Next, here we are having with respect to this was separated based on the color. You are separating the colors based on the color you have taken the male and female. Now, if you want to separate them based on the style, style means with respect to one with circle and one is with respect to star mark. Then you are going to select the style. Either you can select hue or you can select with respect to style. Now, third one you are having with respect to size. Size is the third option. Size is small circles and large circles. Size, representation. These are the three different options. Either you can represent the same thing by different colors. You can by different styles. You can represent by different sizes. These are the three different options which you are having. But these three options will be applicable when you are applying this size or this style or hue. Whatever you are having, these three will be applicable on the discrete data. Here you can't write with respect to the hue is equal to either you have to take gender or you have to take whether it is a smoker or all these things. But you can't apply based on the tip amount or continuous data. You can't give as the input. Hue means separation. Separation will be only with respect to the categories. Categories means discrete data. So whenever you are applying the hue, you have to apply the discrete variable only. Right? Now, hue is equal to size is equal to like this. Next one, you can write both of them. Here hue is equal to this one, style is equal to smoker, both of them. And if you observe this labels and legend, automatically it has selected. You don't need to specially write the label name. You don't need to specially write the legend. When we compare with matplotlib in the STS class, we have written the labels. And we have taken with respect to plt.legend. Here nothing is required. It is integrated automatically. Right? And here you can combine both of them. That is hue is equal to, hue means color wise. You are going to separate the color wise with respect to male and female. Style wise with respect to smoker. That is S and no. Now this person, whoever this person is there, this person is a male candidate along with the smoker, right? So like this you are going to understand. Sir, if you observe this one in this graph, sir, here what you are observing? Here nothing you will observe. You will observe only the minimum values and maximum values only. Either with respect to on x-axis maximum values or on y-axis maximum values only, not this part. Which is common part, we no need to analyze separately. Which is the maximum values are there or which is the minimum values are there, that we have to focus. Right? Next, call. Call means subplots. It is going to divide the subplots. You don't need to write subplot 1, subplot 2, subplot 3, subplot 4. Yesterday we have done with the matplotlib. Here no need to do that one. Directly you can select the call is equal to size. Means for the size 1, it is the scatter plot. For size 2, only size 2 data set, this is the scatter plot. For size 3, this is the scatter plot. For size 4, size 5 and size 6. Now if you will say that, sir, it is not visible. Not only for you, for me also it is not visible. For that reason, we have to use call wrap. Call wrap is equal to miss how many graphs are there? Everything you have to get into the 2 columns. So it is going to make into the 2 columns. Now I am going to get everything. The same 6 I am going to get in the 2 columns like this. Is that clear? This is subplots. Call and call wrap are for subplots. In yesterday's class, whatever we have discussed, the scatter plot, a normal scatter plot only we have discussed. In today's class, scatter plot with differences also we can draw. Actually, in the what is the backend code of this one? You know, Q is equal to gender. It is selecting now. What is the backend code? You know, first it is going to select the df of wherever the gender is equal to male. First it is separating the data set. Only male data set it is separating. After separating the male data set, it is applying the X and Y. It will get the points like this. And for this, it is going to give, that is TLT dot scatter, out of which X is equal to DF of with respect to this one. Now this one I am creating in a new data frame called as DF1. Within the DF1 total bill, and Y is equal to DF1 of tip amount, and color is equal to blue color. This is the backend code of male. Similarly, it is going to take DF2, where DF of is equal to female. Once it get the female data, and it is applying the PLT dot scatter over that. Of X is equal to DF2 of total bill, DF2 of tip amount, and color is equal to orange color. Now these both are in the single cell. Single cell means everything will be combined in the single scatter plot. Like this it is getting combined. And it has applied the X label, Y label. In the backend X label, Y label, PLT dot X label, PLT dot Y label. And for the each label legends also they have added. That is the backend code. For this function, this is the backend code. So whenever you have written the hue word, automatically it is going to divide the data into 2 parts. The entire data will be divided into 2 parts. One is male data, one is female data. And for male data, it is applying separate scatter plot, and female it is applying separate scatter plot, and it is combining both of them on the single scatter plot since it is in the single Jupyter cell. That is the backend code what they have written. Instead of using that those many 6 or 7 lines of code or 8 lines of code, directly you are going to get in a single shot by applying Q is equal to 6. This is advanced visualization. Got the point? The difference between matplotlib and Seaborn. Now, next, these all are the scatter plots. Next one is time plot. That is line plot. For line plot, if you go with X is equal to total bill, Y is equal to tip, and if you apply, you are going to get a line plot like this, where for each bill amount along with the tip amount. Right? Now, for this, generally, we'll go with the which is in the x-axis in the ascending order. Which is in the ascending order we are going to apply. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to create a new column called as serial number. I'm creating a new column. How to create a new column? Already I have told you in the pandas, right? So the same thing, pd.data frame of np.arrange of 1 to 245. 245 means 1 to 244. So np.arrange means 1 to 244, which I'm converting as a data frame. And that data frame I'm adding to the original data frame as a serial number. Like this it is adding. Now for this serial number, I'm going to take the serial number on the x-axis and the tip amount. As the serial number changes, how the tip amount changing. Like this, adding of a new column is called as future engineering. You can add the column or you can delete the column, everything. That depends on the requirement. That is purely upon your requirement, whether to add or whether to delete, everything. Is that clear, guys? So here I'm dropping. Once I have used this one, I'm dropping off. There is no use. So in the last class, what we have discussed: histogram, box plot, scatter plot, line plot. I have shown you the same 4 plots, which is again same histogram: sns.displot, sns.boxplot, sns.rel plot, sns.line plot. So I have shown you with respect to 4 of them. So for line plot, you have to use with respect to rel plot only kind is equal to line. If you don't write kind is equal to line, by default it is going to select the scatter plot. It is just applying only the scatter plot. So once again, I am re-executing this code. I have dropped not that column. So that is the reason this one. This is the scatter plot. By default, rel plot gives the scatter. Whenever you have written the kind means what type of plot? Kind is equal to line. Whenever you have written the kind is equal to line, it is going to apply the line plot for that. Okay, it is going to apply the line plot for that. Just it is going to add the sequential order every data point. Is that clear, guys? So whatever we have discussed in the last class, once again, histogram, box plot, scatter plot, and line plot for the continuous variable. For continuous variable, these two comes under univariate analysis. These both comes under bivariate analysis. After that, we have moved on to the discrete variable for bar plot. For continuous variable, we have done only 4 plots in the last class. In the today's class also, first we have started the histogram, box plot, again univariate analysis, scatter plot and line plot comes under bivariate analysis, same to same as it is. Either you can apply the matplotlib or you can apply the SNS. Choice is yours. Both are same. Okay. And next one is in the bivariate analysis, one more variate analysis is called as joint plot. Joint plot, it is going to give me the both histogram and scatter plot in a single shot. So joint plot, sns.joint plot. Now you are going to get the scatter plot along with the histogram of the x value and histogram of the y value. This is the histogram of x. This is the histogram of y along with the scatter plot of x comma y. This is called as joint plot. Joint plot means both the plots, that is histograms and scatter plots separately. Here you are going to get together. This is one more bivariate analysis which is possible in the Seaborn. This is not possible in the matplotlib. Right? Next one is called as violin plot. Violin plot means it is a combination of histogram with box plot. Histogram with box plot. So you are going to have a histogram along with the box plot. Right? So for on Sunday, exclusively on the Sunday, what is the box plot? What is the minimum value? What is the maximum value? From the box plot also you can identify minimum and maximum. Now out of all these days, which day is minimum? Very low values of total bill, in which case you are having? On Saturdays. On Saturdays you are having the low. On which day you are having very high? That too also on Saturdays only. Alright. And if you observe that, guys, I think everyone knows this barbecue restaurant. In the barbecue restaurant, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. Each day the price will be different. Different timings, different rates will be there. Lunch time will be different rate, dinner time will be different. And occasions times, if any festivals are there, at that time rate will be different. How they are changing all these things means by applying the analysis. Why on Tuesday they are giving very low cost? On Tuesday, the buffet price is $4.99. Veg price. I'm saying about veg. I don't know about non-veg. I know only veg. Okay. So veg price is, it is $4.99 on Tuesday. Whereas on the Saturday, the same thing is $6.99. Right? Why they have changed this one? On Tuesday, what happened? On Thursday and Saturday, what happened? Because they are observed in the analysis on the Tuesday, very less number of people are coming. To attract more number of people, they want to give additional discount to attract something should be special now. Then they have given an additional discount of 200. Now by giving the additional discount of 200 on Thursdays, sorry, Tuesdays, they have got with respect to more sales. Sir, now discount was given means automatically the profit also will be reduced now. Now how much percentage of profit will be reduced if I give 200 rupees discount for the plate? That you have to do. And you have to present to the client. Then he will decide. Okay, this much of profit. Okay, I'm going to get generally, I will get 10,000 rupees profit miss by applying this discount. More number of people will come and profit also increases. But from the each plate, in earlier I have received from 100 plates 100 rupees miss. Now from I'm going to increase this one to 120 plates and I'm going to have with respect to 80 rupees 9,600. But I'll get more number of people. If my requirement is with respect to more number of people means this one. If the same thing, if I am doing with respect to this one, 130 people are coming. Then now till what number of people, for example, you have decided 20% discount. Instead of making with respect to 100 rupees profit, you have decided 80 rupees profit. Means 20 rupees of the profit you are ready to lose. Now what is the break even if you want for 10,000? How many number of people has to come? Around 125 people has to come. If 125 people come miss, then you will get the 10,000. Whether this break even will be achieved or not, whether 125 people will come if I give additional 20% discount, whether I can get 125 people or not, yes or no, that you have to analyze. The same thing was done by the Amazon and during the Great Indian Festival. Flipkart during the Big Billion Days sales, same concept. If I reduce my profit, will I get more number of customers? If more number of customers are not there, only 100 also will be there, similar kind of people are there, miss, then there will be no use. No one will implement that type of Big Billion Days sales. Since normal, when compared to normal days, I am getting more number of customers. So the same level of profit I am going to get. Instead of focusing on 100 people, now I am focusing on 150 people. I will get more business, more turnover, more profit. At the same time, more number of people will be attracted towards the e-commerce website. Right? Now, next one is called as pair plot. Pair plot is multivariate analysis. Pair plot is multivariate. Till now, whatever we have seen is bivariate. That is scatter plot, line plot, joint plot, volume plot. These four plots are called as bivariate analysis. Pair plot is nothing but multivariate analysis, where you are going to have the complete pair plot like this, a combination of scatter plot and this one. So, for example, you are having three variables, or let us take like this. Let me take an example of variable 1, x1, x2, x3, x4, x5. 5 variables are there. This is a data frame, df, where 5 variables are there. Now, df dot pair plot, if I am applying the pair plot for this particular data frame, assume the 5 columns are continuous only. Everything are continuous. Pair plot is applicable only for continuous data, not for discrete data. Okay. So, you are applying continuous data pair plot. Now, what happens, you know? It is going to create x1, x2, x3, x4, x5 like this. On the here also x1, x2, x3, x4, x5. It will write like this. First it will write like this. After writing this one, in the first portion, x1 versus x1 is the histogram. It is going to print the histogram of x1 variable. This is scatter variable, where on the y-axis it is going to take the x1 variable, on x-axis it is going to take the x2 variable. This one of x2, x3 variable, and this is x1 variable. This one x4 and this is x1. This one x5 versus x1. 4 scatter plots you are going to get like this. All the scatter plots, what are the scatter plots? Now this one x1 and x2. What is it going to take on the y-axis means x2. On x-axis what it is going to take means x1, and it is going to draw the scatter plot. Now this one x1 was x2 versus x2. This side x2 is there, this side also x2 is there. Automatically it is going to print the histogram of x2. So the diagonal elements are going to be the histogram and remaining all are going to be the scatter plots. Like this you are going to get for each other variable the multi-scatter plots with multi-histograms in a single shot by using the pair plot. First variable. Now tell me what is there on the y-axis. Whatever you are seeing here, the same thing will be on the y-axis. Whatever you are seeing down part, that will be on the x-axis. Now this scatter plot is between tip on the x-axis versus total bill on the y-axis. This scatter plot is total bill on the x-axis and tip on the y-axis. So the diagonal elements are going to be the histograms, and upper triangle matrix and lower triangle matrix will be the inverse to each other. Is that clear, guys? So this is applicable for multi-plots. When you are having multiple variables, more than 2 variables, you can apply the histogram with the scatter plot. If you are having exactly 2 variables, go with the joint plot only. That is, joint plot is sufficient. When you are having more than 2 variables, then you have to go with the multivariate analysis, which is nothing but pair plot. Right? Pair plot is applicable for multivariate analysis whenever you are working on the multiple data. So here I am writing once again. Okay, you can take this one. So you are having with respect to x1, x2, x3, x4, x5, 5 variables you are selecting at a time. Now for the 5 variables, you are going to get the histograms on the diagonal. And this is with respect to multiple scatter plots you are going to get. You are going to get like this, the scatter plots, this scatter plot, this scatter plot, scatter plot, class plot, and this is histogram. Scatter plot, scatter plot, scatter plot, scatter plot, scatter plot, again histogram, and scatter plot, scatter plot, scatter plot, scatter plot, scatter plot, and histogram. You are going to get like this. It is clear now? Pair plot. Pair plot is applicable when you are having more than 2 continuous variables in your data set. If you are having only exactly 2 continuous variables, means no need of applying pair plot. Just go with the joint plot. Pair plot means multivariate analysis. Multivariate means more than 2 variables. You are analyzing more than 2 variables in a single time, at a single time. Then it is called as multivariate analysis. Plot is called as multivariate plot. Analysis is called as multivariate analysis. Is that clear? Next one, we are having the last one is called as heat map. This is the last for the continuous variable. For continuous variable, this is the last. Where heat map. Heat map means between 2 variables, how much heat is there. How we are going to measure the heat means the darkness of the color. More color darkness is there means more heat is there. Less color of darkness is there means less heat is there. So that heat is, what I am going to do is, I am going to take the correlation, and this correlation matrix I am going to give as the heat map. Now these values will be inserted here, and according to that, it is going to give the colors. Whatever you are keeping the values, that values will be placed here. And using these values, it is going to apply. That is with respect to heat map. Is that clear, guys? Now, for example, you are having x1, x2, x3, 3 variables are there. Now, separately, you are calculating x1 versus x2 correlation, x2 versus x3 correlation, x1 versus x3 correlation. Separately, instead of calculating, directly you are asking DF of core. What happens? X1, X2, X3, X1, X2, X3. The correlation of X1 versus X1. What is the correlation? 1 only. Obviously, it is 1. The relation between these two will be 1. Relation between X2, X2, 1. Between X3, X3, 1. Now, whatever the relation between X1 and X2, you are having certain value. I assume the value is 0.4. This value is 0.9. This value is 0.8. You are having like this. Now, automatically X2 versus X1 also the same thing. X1 versus X2, whatever the correlation is there, the same thing will be here. That is 0.4. X3 versus X1 is nothing but this value only. This value will be the same. If you are identifying the relation between X1 versus X3 or X3 versus X1, both will be the same. Both are same only. Na? If you multiply sigma of X minus X bar into Y minus Y bar, or if you multiply sigma of Y minus Y bar into X minus X bar, also same only. Answer is not going to change. Right? It is not going to change. Numerator will not change, denominator will not change. If you multiply these two like this, or if you multiply like this also, answer will be the same. So the correlation matrix is going to have with respect to the upper triangle and lower triangle matrix will be the symmetrical. And the diagonal values is equal to 1. Now, for example, here I am having 0.4, 0.9 and 0.7. And this 0.4, 0.9 and 0.7. I am having the same thing. Okay, this is the correlation matrix. This is pandas. The values, whatever you are saying is pandas. Now, for this same thing, I want to apply the plot. The plot is called as heat map. Heat is for 0.4, up to 0.4 the current darkness you are going to draw. So here you can clearly see this one. See, as the darkness increases or lightness, the more the light, the higher the correlation. The higher the dark, the lesser the correlation. Is that clear? It is clearly showing. Here it is showing clearly which one is having which one. Clear, guys? That is with respect to heat map. And these are the various plots for the continuous data. So for continuous data, what are the plots, miss? I have given the short here. For univariate, you have to apply the histogram and box plot. For bivariate analysis, scatter plot, line plot, joint plot, and violin plot. For multivariate analysis, you have to go with the pair plot and heat map. Is that clear? These are the various plots, right? Now, similarly, various plots for the discrete variable also that we are going to see in the next class. Now itself, your faces has converted to differently, and 12 students has dropped in the online. Initially, 84 is there, now 72 are there. Now itself, they have got the frustrated. If I start the discrete variable, means peaks. It will be in the peaks. So next class will be with respect to on the Monday. Now here one of the student is asking the question, what is this anoid, sir? No, tomorrow there is no class. Next class is on Monday only. Practice and revise. Sorry, first revise and then practice. Tomorrow there is no class. Next class is on Monday. ఒక్క నిమిషం అదొక మీరు ఆగండి ఇది అయిపోయాక చెప్తాం మీకు. So here the confusion matrix, if you remove this anoid is equal to true, you are going to just get the colors only. Anoid is equal to true means values also will be added. Anoid means values. Values will be added. Is that clear? Right, guys?